Hi everyone, welcome to our podcast. I'm Audrey.
And I'm Daniel.
This is Daniel. And we're starting a new podcast, just like talking about our relationship, because I don't know, we have a bunch to say. We always be talking shit, so that's why. I'm very amused by this new mic thing, so I'm gonna be talking like this. Is it satisfying? I don't know. Anyways, we don't have a name yet because we don't know what to call it. But by the time this is out, it probably has a name.
So, our first topic is going to be about relationships.
Well, actually, we want the whole podcast to be about relationships in general because we've been together for almost 3 years now. And for context, we're both like 22. So, we don't have a lot of friends that are in like long-term relationships. I think that's a pretty interesting, edge that we have that other people don't have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, most of our friends casual date or they get in and out of relationships, quite often. Because in your 20s, I feel like a lot of people just are looking around and just, seeing, who they really click with. Because it's hard to find someone that you really do click with.
Yeah.
It takes a long time. It's, tiring, time-consuming. It drains you, honestly, in my opinion. I don't know.
Because a lot of people talk about how they haven't found the one, or
exactly.
they're just waiting until they find the one, and until they find one, it's just casual dating, or just mess about.
Exactly. So that's why we wanted to make a podcast, because I think we have an interesting take on relationships since we've been together for almost 3 years and we're 22. So, and we are quite serious. It'd be really funny if we drop this podcast and 3 months later we're broken up.
Yeah, we definitely don't want to be giving relationship advice or just general shenanigans to do with it if we're not in a relationship.
Yeah.
Long term.
So we're serious, I guess.
Serious enough to make sure
yeah.
to prove that we're not gonna give random
shitty advice.
Yeah.
But yeah, we wanted to make it kind of personal about us. We might invite guests, but it'll be fun if you guys can send in questions or stories that we can give you advice on.
I mean, this
That'll
is
be fun.
completely
new. We don't know. Yeah.
And new. So this is our own opinion on the subject matters. We don't expect any type of we don't want to condone certain things that we say.
Yeah, definitely. Take everything we say with a grain of salt.
Definitely with a grain of salt.
Don't take advice that we give as life advice.
Yeah.
We're not looking for lawsuits out here.
Definitely, we have to make it known that this is regardless of who watches, it's whatever we say. It's just within this room. We want to be casual enough that we can actually talk about things that are in our heads.
Yeah, yeah. We just want to rant and
we're not gonna keep it PG. We're not gonna
we just want to talk shit.
Yeah, we're not gonna keep it PC either. Right? Yeah. Because then, if it's gonna be relationship advice and some people, who are actually looking for advice, maybe right in the younger category.
A lot of people always look for advice. Yeah. Honestly.
Exactly. So.
You have an eyelash.
Regardless of. We just gotta make it known very clearly that this is a very subjective topic. Even though it's a very general topic, because a lot of people go to relationships, but this is our take on it.
Yeah, right, our take on it. Very specifically, our take on it.
Yeah, our take, 100%. Don't condone anything.
Not don't condone, but don't take everything as facts.
This is from my experience. And the funny thing is, people will laugh at us thinking you're 22 and this is your experience. Oh, you guys are young.
Yeah, but we are young. That's
the truth is within the younger generation, within the demographic of even 12 to 25, let's say, people in that category are gonna think but we still want to be taken seriously. Because when I was at the age of 16 or whatever, and during that age I was dating you, right? Mm-hmm. And people would be you're young, you're a kid, you're in high school. But those relationships to me as an individual at that time is I'm still taking it seriously.
It's meaningful, yeah.
I want genuine advice.
Yeah, exactly.
If we break up and then during that cycle where we're broken up and before we get back together, whatever.
Yeah.
I feel very lost and there's a lot of things that's going on mentally up in my head. But other people won't take you seriously enough because you're young. But that shouldn't be a thing either.
Facts.
So, we may be 22, but we're still trying to reach, like, it doesn't matter if we're reaching 1,000 people, you know?
And to be fair, we're 22 and we have a business together. By the way, we're filming at Heat Labs. Follow our Instagram. No, but like we have a business together, so we are like, that's kind of like some evidence that we are in it for like the long run, you know? So regardless of what people say, regardless, yeah.
Even though we're 22, we've reached the point within our relationship together, like person to person, where like we know our connection is genuine, and we want to take it more seriously. Like there's definite hopes to like continue what we got going on.
Definite hopes.
You know?
Yeah, definite hopes.
Like a lot of people dating, regardless of like what age they are, there's a category for like people who you're like, okay, I'm pretty serious with this person, I'm thinking about marriage with them. And then there are people like, I'm just dating them and I really, really like them. Yeah. In fact, you can still be like infatuated with them, but you still don't have any kind of like conclusion in your own head.
Yeah, you don't know if you see a future. Yeah. Like you can't imagine because you don't know. You know.
And I'm just saying we're at this point where like if we don't get married, I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Which is like, oh, you know, you don't take it too far. Don't like, you know, rush things or like, don't say things you don't mean. But like, you know.
To us,
I think in our own heads, like,
Sorry, Mom.
Not that anything is confirmed. I'm just saying, like,
it's okay. I don't think
we've reached the maturity stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so to speak.
But anyways, going back to like what we were talking about earlier, we are already on a tangent. By the way, I feel like this whole podcast is gonna be like one topic, and we're just gonna branch. Anyways, earlier Daniel mentioned that like, when he was 15, he was dating me. So let's give some backstory to that. Because if you do the math, 3 years, we're like 19 when we started dating. And we're 22 now. So how were we together when we were 15? Here goes the backstory. So we were really on and off in high school since year 10. Since year 10, we were on and off. So that's 15, I think. Yeah, 15 years old. 15 years old until graduation. And actually until year 1 of university. No. Until year 1? No, until graduation.
No, until like high school ended.
Until high school ended. So we were to get on and off together for like 16, 17, 18. 3 to 4 years. 3 to 4 years in high school. And honestly, it was a really toxic relationship, like when we were in high school. But like we somehow managed to get out of that, and that's really crazy.
Which is something we can talk about for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Because then like 3 to 4 years of on and off, it's not something to be proud of, but
definitely not.
It's definitely something to talk about because you can reflect back and think to yourself like, okay, those 3 to 4 years that I spent being on and off with you has to mean something, because like we're here at the stage 7, 8 years in, and then like now we have like a
solid relationship.
Yeah, like I would say like our relationship is pretty solid.
A very trusting relationship, which I think number one thing important in relationships is trust. True.
And so if you think about it, it's like high school relationships have a stigma to them, you know? A lot of people will look at high school relationships as like a lower level category.
I mean, it is.
No, okay, so here's the thing. When you're in high school and you have a high school relationship, you don't think that you are in a high school relationship. You know what I mean? I mean, to be fair, like, some people might not even think about relationship at all at that age. Yeah. You might not even know, like, am I dating this person?
Yeah.
But, like, you guys are doing everything a couple does.
No, to be fair, you know? I've met a lot of young kids. Okay, I say young kids, but, like, 14, 15, and they're in, like, relationships, and they think, and they, or not think, but they say they love their partner. And whatnot. So there are people that are dating really young nowadays, 13 even.
Yeah,
can you imagine that?
That's true. When I was 15, when you were like 16, when we were like in that age group, right? And we dated.
Why was I 16 and you're 15? Let's both be 16. How about that?
Okay, when we were 16, and we're dating during that like period of our lives, I, like, looking back now, cringe at myself and the things I did and like the steps I took and you know the actions I did. And so when I look at other 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old dating, I, like, subconsciously think of them as a little cringe because I cringe at myself.
Yeah,
and,
okay,
you know,
that's
like,
fair.
I was a cringy 16-year-old teen dating.
He was.
And surely, like, other 14, 15, 16-year-olds dating nowadays can't be like, oh, I'm mature, like, we have a mature relationship. You can't really say that, surely, you know? Like, I myself admit, in that age, I was... the best and the most mature version I could be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I go back in time, I'm not gonna change anything about myself.
Obviously.
I'd still be that cringy, embarrassing, immature kid.
I know, but kids don't think like that. Like when we were 16.
Yeah, that's true.
When we were 16, we were like madly in love. Like I'm using air quotes. You gotta stop talking over me.
Okay.
Like on a podcast, like if no one's watching the video, they're gonna be like, "Who's talking?"
Okay.
Right.
Right.
Your vape is so loud. His vape is so loud. If you guys are bothered by the sound, it's his fault. No, but when you're 15, you for sure think you're like in a serious relationship. Like you think so
and I like to
you can't really tell people that they're not in a serious relationship. What we can do is help them, learn how to be more healthy. Because
there are definite things that they do wrong.
They as in us. As in we've done it wrong. We don't know if people are actually doing this, but we're guessing this from our experience.
I mean, 100%. There could be 15-year-old couples out there that are just striving, and fucking good for you guys.
Because fucking good for you guys.
It's like it's a great thing to see.
Young couples living it up.
Like a teenage couple that's able to like
be mature. Well, we can reflect on ourselves because we don't know what people are really doing until you guys send your advices over. So send them.
We're not going to be talking about advice straight on.
Yeah.
But we're going to be basing it off the kind of experiences we had. And so let's talk about that then. If we started dating around 15, 16. And
the worst thing that like we did in high school to each other was like lie to each other or like try to like get a reaction out of each other, doing things to like try to get a reaction.
Yes
we did that a lot. Lying is him mostly.
I think
sorry to call you out, but that's true. He has it in him because it's like he grew up lying, like I never grew up lying, so like I never understood why people would lie.
Right, like it wasn't in my interest to lie to you, but it was just kind of like part of my personality.
Because he was just like, only the good stuff matters. But good communication is really about like being super transparent and just saying everything, even if you think it's gonna hurt them, but you're doing it or you're like thinking it, you gotta say it. Because it's like when you're thinking like, oh shit, like when he does that, that's so annoying, or like when she asks me those things, I hate it. And instead of just like going through with the question and like answering it head on, you just like avoid it, or you just like lie and say something completely not true. That's actually just like hurting the foundation of the relationship. Like every good relationship foundation is built on trust. And I feel like everyone said that, but it's true. Like, you know why people say it so much? It's because it's true. Like trust, if you don't have trust, you don't have anything. Like
that's actually like,
what is the point of being with someone if you're gonna be calling them like all the time, being like, where are you, what are you doing, come home now? Okay, no, not come home now, but like, like you can't hang out with that person. Like we did that a lot. I did that a lot. I was very controlling when I was in high school, to be fair, but that was also because he was lying to me all the time. So it's like
there's a basis of why you had that kind of attitude.
So it really like feeds each other. Like those toxic like habits that you do will feed each other. Like one person's lying all the time, then the other person's gonna be more controlling because they're gonna want to try to get them to like do everything they want them to do because they don't know what they're doing behind their back. Like, and that's like something you see so commonly. Like even at this age, even like the other day I was talking to one of my like students. They were telling me how like their friend's boyfriend like tells them where they can go. Like like their friend will invite them to like a hangout or something like that, like a movie with friends. And then it'll be like, I need to ask my boyfriend first. And she's like 17 or 18. I need to ask my boyfriend first. Asks her boyfriend, and then her boyfriend's like, no, you can't go if there's guys there. Like that's so extreme. Like why would you ever ask your partner for permission for you to do something that doesn't regard them?
I think it's like they're not your mom or dad.
And that's what I'm saying.
And if you start doing that, it's like then you're their mom or dad. Like, or you're not their caretaker.
Exactly.
You don't take care of them financially or anything like that anyway. So like and you're fucking like your team. So it'd be super weird to like start like controlling each other as if you were their dad or their mom.
But honestly, I think not only is this like a teen culture, it's like very significant in Asian dating culture. Like the idea of like, especially for like if you're like in a straight relationship, like a man and a woman, like if you're in a straight relationship and you're a girl, usually guys are very, like, in Asian culture is what I've noticed, especially in Hong Kong, what I've noticed from, like, the local dating scene, guys are always more protective, and they'll always like have a say in what the girl is doing late at night, or like who's she hanging out with, you know, where's she going. Like, I've heard this multiple times by people my age.
And this is what a lot of guys
people,
would say
wait,
about
let me finish. People my age, they will be like, oh yeah, if I'm in a relationship, I can't go to Lan Kwai Fong.
Mm-hmm.
Lan Kwai Fong is like a clubbing area in Hong Kong, and if I'm in a relationship, I can't go clubbing because that's not what you do when you're in a relationship. I was like, why? What? I understand there's like some kind of, you know, subtext to clubbing. Like, some people just go clubbing to like hook up or whatever. But if you're in a relationship and you really do trust each other, there should be none of like what you cannot do when you're in a relationship. Other than cheating and lying, everything else, your life should not change depending on whether you're in a relationship or not. Do you agree with me in that?
Uh-huh.
Right?
But I mean, I probably wouldn't have agreed years ago.
Yeah.
But okay, here's another thing, because like if you are gonna say something like that, a lot of guys, what they would say in defense, like if there are couples out there where like the couple dynamic is like that, where the guy is more controlling and whatnot, they're probably gonna think about to themselves like, am I that type of guy? And like the reflection that comes from that is either like there's a reason why you do that, there's a reason why you're controlling. For example, like, oh, my girlfriend cheated, so then like to kind of like make sure she doesn't do it again, it just kind of, it brings out that side of me.
That's more understanding, but
yeah.
Then that's another topic.
If that wasn't the context, then really like what a lot of guys would think or say would be like, oh, like I do trust you, right, as my girlfriend, but the thing is I don't trust the other guys around you, or like I just don't trust other people around you. And in the subcontext that if they go out to club, if they go out to Lan Kwai, or they're like in a group party, and they themselves are not there, like the boyfriend, then they'll be like, oh yeah, you can't go because like I don't trust the other dudes that are there, right? That's usually the reasoning. And like the thing is like that's kind of a good reasoning sometimes. That's
kind of bullshit though, in my opinion.
Because like as a person receiving, on the receiving end, you're like, what can I say to that, to be honest, right? Because you're not gonna vouch for like all the fucking guys that are there, like, oh, there's no way, they're not gonna do that. But like, you can't fight that, or it just becomes an argument, you know. So there's got to be a. But
what I will say to that is, you're only saying that now because we're on a podcast, but you wouldn't say that to me ever. Like if I was going out with my girls, you would never be like, I don't trust the other guys. Because okay, honestly, when people say that, it's not even guys. Even if girls say that, I don't trust other girls. You know, like if you're saying you don't trust the other people, you're subconsciously basically saying you don't trust them. Because in a relationship, there's two people. Nobody else has any like obligation to you, to me. You know, we're committed to each other. You know, nobody else is saying that. So if I trust you, who cares what other girls do? It's not like you're gonna get attacked by a girl kissing you. Like things like that only progress. Like you only really like will make out with someone if you are initiating it. Not initiating it. Let's say someone like comes up to me and they're like, you're really cute, you're really attractive, and I'm like, oh really? Like, oh thanks. And like I kind of like egg them on. I never say that I'm in a relationship, but I never say that I'm not in a relationship. Then that's on me. That's not on them. You know what I mean? So it cannot be like you don't trust them, because if you trust me fully, I would never do that. I would just be like, sorry, bye. And I've done that multiple times.
And
you know what I mean?
The truth is like,
you can't really say like, oh, I don't, it's not you, it's everyone else.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
What?
No,
then you're gonna control the whole world? What are you gonna do?
And people who say that are just low-key insecure about themselves.
Exactly.
Because, you know, like, there's really no excuse for that. Like, you're just being really shady by saying like, oh, I don't trust other dudes around you. Like, that in itself is, to me, at this point, is like cringe. Because like, come on, like, that's not the truth. You just want to be protective, and you just want to be controlling to a certain point where you want them to listen to what you say, and you're like, you just get a better peace of mind. You can go to sleep much easier if you know that your girlfriend's not out there partying.
I also wanted to clarify that earlier when I said like there's no way that a girl will pounce on you, I didn't mean that as in like there's no way. There is a way. Like people that are like assaulters will do that, but then that's not in your control. You know, like if your girl gets sexually harassed, sexually assaulted, or if your guy gets harassed or assaulted, that's not on them.
Another thing is like within the realm of like teenage dating, in that age, like you don't have the mental capacity for certain things. You just have to like let time just like you just gotta learn over time certain things, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like another thing a lot of teenage relationships tend to have is like, to be honest, you just want to go out and explore and just have fun, right? Like that's the truth. Like
then you shouldn't be in a relationship.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like they don't. Well, I'm not gonna say they, but like within that age, I tend to feel that a lot of people in that teenage bracket don't have the capacity, the mental capacity to think like, oh yeah, a relationship is a relationship, and I have to separate these two entities. You can't be in a relationship and be enjoying other things. Like
no, yeah,
life doesn't work that way. I think it's common sense at that point. Like you can't just have everything. Like you're not gonna be given everything on a silver platter.
That's another thing, right? That like not only applies to teenagers, but a lot of young adults, a lot of young men, young women as well. But a lot of people don't know what they want. Like if you really just like spend some time with your own thoughts, be really honest with yourself. Do you want to be in a relationship where you're only spending all your affection, like all your romantic affection, on one person? Or would you like to like spend that energy on a lot of people? And if the answer is the second one, the latter, that's fine. Like you can't, whichever one, it doesn't make you a bad person. I'm putting that in air quotes, because the thing is, like Asian society fosters such a like monogamous relationship. Like that is like the best kind of relationship, but that's not true. Like you can explore and like that's a way of like figuring out what you like, what you personally like, who you are attracted to, what you're seeking in a relationship, like by meeting more people. But what a lot of people do is they just lie to themselves. They're like, oh yeah, this is the person that I love for sure. But in the back of their head, they're like, I don't know, I kind of like her too, and her, they're all kind of cute, but she's just the one I'm with now, and that's convenient. But if someone else comes along, then I will get to know them behind this person's back. And that's where you're like really being selfish, because not only are you lying to yourself, you're lying to your significant other, who you're hurting the most in the process. And like instead of just like having fun and being a good person and being like self-aware and doing all those things, you're like hurting a whole other person.
But I think that just comes from like lack of maturity at that age, because if you're let's say 16, 17, you haven't.
I would argue the culture as well, though.
Definitely, there are so many factors that go into shaping like an individual's personality and like what they do, the actions they take in a relationship. But in general, if people are in that age gap, what I'm thinking is like they don't have the maturity in their head to think like, oh, I have responsibilities I need to take, and my actions have consequences. You know what I mean? Like, for example, if you get into a relationship, but did you really think about it? Did you really think about that relationship from the get-go? Like the first step was like, oh, I find her attractive. Ooh, she is into me. I'm into her. We can date. Like this is a dating thing, and it just kind of like grows into this like relationship. Like you may not have made it like super clear with each other, or it was never really official, but from like a certain day, you guys are like now considered like a couple. But the thing is like the responsibility and the consequence that I was talking about is they get into that couple habit, and then they like kind of like have that going on for a couple months, But obviously you're gonna have parties, you're gonna like do things with your friends, and like a party comes up, and you're like at that party, and you find other really attractive girls around you, But the thing is like you don't think about the consequence of like, oh yeah, I'm in a relationship and I have responsibilities towards my partner. They don't think about that enough, because like you get into a party and you're like, you don't care,
Yeah.
You're having fun, you're with your mates, and when you're with your friends, like you get hyped up, and that's a different kind of fun you have when you're just with your partner, just you and her. And so whether it's the heat of the moment or whether it's just like the lack of maturity to think about the consequences that your actions have, people are like, in my opinion, like they just kind of like let it go sometimes. Just go with the flow,
just
and
let
like,
it happen.
You know what? I guess I technically have a girlfriend, but I don't care about that. There's
in the moment,
really
like right now,
girl,
right now I don't
she's
care.
from another school, and like, you know, you ask your friends, you're like, damn, what's her name? Like, like your friends as well. Low key, they don't really care. You know, they don't really care that you have a partner or not, because they don't. No one in that like region, like that demographic, they don't really take it seriously enough to be like, wait, stop what you're about to do. You have a girlfriend. Wake up. You know, you have responsibilities. You can't be doing this to her. Then your friends as well. You just go, you just all go crazy and like, you're pushing your friends. You're like, oh yeah, go ask for a number. Like, oh, kiss, spin the bottle. It's just like everything's in that hype of the moment. You know, responsibility, consequence is very real.
Yeah.
But some people just need to like get hit in the face to realize that those things exist in the real world. You know what I mean? Or it just takes time for them to learn it. But the thing is, some people at 16, 17, they're super mature. They already know those responsibilities. They know certain consequences that their actions have. And that's really good. And that's great for those couples. But a lot of people are definitely gonna
and honestly, you're saying this as if it's only applicable to teenage relationships, but everything you're talking about, have met 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds.
Yeah. That's another thing we need to clarify, because
you know who I'm talking about, right?
Right. Yeah. No. There are so many adults, ranging from 28 to 30 something, that I just look at them and I'm just like,
that is mind-boggling.
You guys are that old, acting
and you
like,
don't have anything like. Everything is about yourself, you know, like zero care for your partner, who is supposed to be like, to me, I feel like a relationship is so much weight. That is a lot, you know, that's a commitment, and it should be taken
just
seriously.
Like openly communicate about it. Oh, like, hey, we're dating, but
then that's not a relationship.
Interested in other people.
That's not a relationship.
Do you want to have an open relationship? Like, make it clear instead of just
make it clear.
Being on the down low. That's
exactly
way better than just like hiding it.
Exactly.
You know?
That's why communication. Yeah. Like, if you're gonna be doing stuff and you know you want to do other things, you want to be with other people, you want to meet people, you want to like see, you're like interested in other people, because we are not like that at all, like zero. So like if you guys feel that way, then you should be honest and like communicate those feelings. And if it hurts the other person, honestly, then they're probably not the one for you, because you need to like those urges are gonna stay with you. If you feel an urge, you're gonna either act on it and like hurt your partner, or you're gonna act on it and hurt your partner. No, I don't know. I mean, obviously there's people that have urges that don't do it, but then you're not gonna be happy, you know what I mean? So like, if you're young, or even if you're old and you just feel not like complete in your relationship and you feel like you need outside sources, don't be in a relationship, you know? And that's not a bad thing. Being in a relationship is not like the end all be all goal. You can be in an open relationship, you can just like date around, you know? It's better than like lying to yourself, to your partner, and like being with someone else.
I think, you know, the phrase
a lot of people
like,
need to be honest with themselves. A lot of people need to be honest with themselves.
You know the saying of like, how can you love someone else when you can't love yourself, right? I think it's a similar thing with like being open with yourself, you know, like having an open conversation. Like if you haven't made, you know, clarifications in your own head about certain things, whether it's relationship or like something else in your life, then I feel like you don't really have the capacity to like be doing other things with other people, because you don't even have the conclusion in your head.
Yeah,
you're
exactly.
Just like, I don't know. That I don't know people are a lot. There are a lot of I don't know people.
Lot. And if you
don't know, who the fuck knows?
Yeah, your partner is not gonna figure it out for you. Like, don't be in a if you don't know if you don't know if you want to be with someone, then most likely it's a no. You know what I mean? Like, it's gotta be a no before you're like unless you're like 110% sure it's a yes. Don't be in a relationship is what I think.
I mean, I think a little differently, because
like you can be with them and you can have fun, but you don't need to be like their girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like that's a lot.
I mean, you can sometimes sometimes you just go with your heart's content. You know, you can just be like, you know what, I've thought about it for like 2 months, and I fucking love this person. Well, you might not be like, I fucking love this person, but like you really really like them, and you like them enough that like you're low key infatuated. You know, like I can see myself in bed with her. I can see myself in bed with him. Well, like whatever it is, you just want to take it to the next step. You just get this like hunger for love when you're with this person. Just follow your heart's content and just do it. You know, what I'm saying there is like, but you don't have to be 110% sure that you love this person.
But if you do it, like if you're gonna get into a relationship with that person, you have to know that that's your person.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's
Unless you've communicated it with them that you really want to be with them, but at the same time you want to meet other people, then that's an open relationship. Then that's different.
Right. I think if you really have like this one person that you're like, okay, that person I want to marry, but at the same time, right now I'm not ready to settle with just one person in a committed relationship. I still want to like fuck around. You know, I want to like make out with as many people as I can in the clubs. I just want to go crazy, you know?
Go crazy.
Or like, I just want to like, I just want to out myself, you know? Like, you have enough ego to be like, I just want to like date around, right? That's fine.
Out myself as in like come out as gay or
No. Out yourself as in like just like show yourself off in the club, you know? Just be like, hey, look at me.
That's not a phrase, Daniel.
Whatever. The truth is, a lot of people do end up being really confused about like their life state or like their relationship state. You know what I mean? And that confusion is okay. Yeah. It's okay to be confused. It's okay to feel like sometimes overwhelmed with all your thoughts going in your head. You know, like sometimes you just feel like you're going crazy, but it's okay to feel like that. That's the thing. It's
normal.
Completely okay.
It's normal, yeah.
So you don't have to like be really strict with yourself, thinking like, oh, I don't have my shit together. Like, oh fuck, I'm like hurting other people by being in this relationship, but I'm not sure. It's okay to feel like that, and it's like I think it's quite normal to like feel bad about the fact that you feel unsure. You know, there's a level of uncertainty there. The best thing to do there is just like give time away to yourself, rather than like I'm gonna ask my friends for advice. I'm gonna go on Google and search up, oh my god, what's going on with me.
True, because you're the only person that has answers to your own emotions. Like, no one else is going through the same thing that you're going through. Like, even if people have similarities, everyone has unique ways of feeling emotions.
Write a diary.
Write a diary.
Writing a diary at any age, it's very applicable.
Actually,
definitely helps, right?
Definitely helps. Get all your feelings out, you know. It actually, like, writing down things, for me, really helps me, like, process my emotions.
Yeah. And I mean, you can keep that completely personalized.
Yeah,
And the thing is, like, when we broke up, when we were like 16 or 17, somewhere around that age, like, as a guy and as a teen and as a very egotistical, like, I want to be cool kind of guy in high school, it's like you feel a little bit ashamed to be like going around telling people like, oh hey, I write diaries. And I might have told my best friend.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be like making it public, right? Because you want to keep that stuff private, and it's okay to do it in private. You know, just keep it completely to yourself. Lock that shit up. You know, just have it somewhere. But you gotta have a completely transparent, open conversation with yourself. Can you do that with your parents? No. You're not gonna go to your mom like talking all about like your sex life and stuff you do at like underage. But you to yourself, you can talk about anything and everything. Oh, I itched my ball sack and I smelt it. You can write that down, reflect on it, and you can maybe do something about it. But you can just have a complete you can't do that with anyone.
Yeah,
that's the truth. I can't even do that with you with certain things, right? I'm not gonna
like
be telling you like, oh, I tasted my own shit when I was like 5.
Ew.
Or like it's just certain things. No, I mean I wouldn't need to write that on a diary because it's like, oh, I'm traumatized. But I don't need to write that stuff on the diary. I'm just saying like that's one really good medium for you to just have a really open communication to yourself. Because a lot of people will go through like the stage of like, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, if you don't know, really no one else is gonna know. So
no one's gonna know.
How about you have a talk with yourself?
Yeah.
You know what a lot of people don't really understand? Having a talk with yourself.
Yeah. Conversations with yourself is underrated.
Yeah. And people will think like, oh, that's kind of weird. Like, oh, you talk to yourself? Or like, you like talk to yourself in the mirror? Or like, oh, you write diaries? That's
you
like
gotta
such
make
a kid
sure
thing.
you know what you're doing, what you're thinking, you know? Like, if you don't even know what you're thinking, what does it matter that what the other person's thinking? You know, what if that person really likes you and you don't know if you like them? It doesn't matter what the other person's thinking. It matters what you're thinking. You know what I mean? Like, some people are like, oh, I don't know if that guy likes me. And I'm like, do you like him? And they're like, I don't know. Like, figure that out first, you know?
So many people...
This is everyone.
...are so quick to just say, like, I don't know. And that's what I, like...
And sometimes it's an ego thing, to be fair. They're like, they don't know because they want to see if the other person likes them. Secretly, they really like them.
Or like testing the water, like, halfway in the door type of thing, yeah.
People need to be more courageous with their feelings. Like, even if you're not willing to, like, say it to them or say it to other people that you really like them, at least you know yourself that you really like them. That's important, you know?
Yeah.
Like, if you're gonna not like them just because you're scared of getting hurt, no, you still secretly like them then. You know what I mean?
Like, okay, the logic of like, oh, I don't want to date this person because like I like them, but I don't want to date them because I'm scared
They
of
don't like
breaking
me.
up.
Oh.
Or that as well, like I'm scared that I like reveal my feelings and they don't accept it. But it's like that logic doesn't make sense to me because like if you're so scared about like what's gonna happen at the end, like you definitely miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So just take it. If it doesn't work out, at least you've tried.
Yeah. If you never try, you'll literally never know. Okay, these are all super corny, but
very corny.
it's true.
But
like...
no. We have to emphasize that it's genuinely good advice, and it's corny for a reason because like when we were 15, 16, every time I heard people say it, I'm like, shut up. Like it's oh stop, cringe, oh boomer. Like, but the thing is like they go on about it because like, and it's a famous quote and whatnot because like it's so true.
And it's like there's only two people in a relationship, so if you're not gonna take a shot, you're basically relying on them to take the shot 100%. Like, I don't know, I feel like that's a lot of pressure. You should at least know where you stand, you know? If you're not gonna take the shot, at least you know how you feel about it. That's important.
Yeah, or at least there are subtle ways to show the other person like your motives or your intentions or how you feel about them. If you're so scared of verbalizing it face to face, there are many ways to like show that by gesture. And it's really about like also being able to read the room and the atmosphere. If you are showing those gestures and you're not really receiving the same kind of vibe, then you should probably tell yourself like, oh, this is a sign, rather than like, I'm gonna keep pushing. You're not a bulldozer. People are not trees. You can't just chop until it falls down.
And don't be a creep.
Yeah, and like if you keep pushing it, you're just becoming a creep. I think that's what people don't understand. If you want to be cool, the best way to be cool is like let go. It's a no. It's a no.
Spend your time finding someone else, or spend your time with yourself.
Yeah, or just come to your own conclusions. Write it in your diary. That's why diaries are important.
Come
to a conclusion of like, well, like she said no, but if you don't want to give up, right? But then like you not giving up, and in your own definition of not giving up, keep trying or keep like,
that's
like talking to her. That's just harassment at that point.
That's harassment. Don't
the
do
person
that.
has said no, and this A person just keeps pushing. That push is gonna push them away as well. It's gonna push all the way out to the sea. It's not a push-pull game. It's just a one-sided push all the way
that's
out.
Facts.
Keep pushing all the way out to the sea. Like
persistence is not the key, guys. Persistence is not the key.
Yeah. Like, and okay. Like to be fair, a no can also sometimes not like 100% mean no. Like there could be like open doors still. You can still experiment. Like you could still show like how much you really care about them, how much they really mean to you in a sincere way.
Yeah, but don't be creepy. Like don't be
but
like.
There's a very fine line
and
between
what if
creep and sincere.
And if they say like, no, seriously, I'm not into you, then
surely if you keep pushing at that point, you're just stupid. You're just dumb.
Yeah.
Because like how can you be more clear? No. I'm so sorry, but I really don't want to date you. I don't want to take it anywhere serious. Just please keep it friendly.
Please.
Then listen. That person at that point is begging you. Stop. Trying.
Yeah.
Like I mean.
And honestly, some things are not worth the effort. Like you're wasting your time digging at a hole that like is concrete. Can you dig through concrete? I don't know, but basically
not with
like
your hands.
Yeah. So like some things are just not meant to be, if you really like someone and they really don't like you, don't waste your time on them. Your time is valuable. Why are you wasting your time on someone that's like doesn't blink an eye at you? You should be with someone that is obsessed with you, is what I always think. If they're not batting an eye, when you're young, you gotta see all your possibilities.
But
there's
to be
so
fair,
many possibilities.
You could be obsessed with this person and they're not, right?
Yeah.
But like you're so infatuated with them that like, you just don't want to give up.
Is that how you felt about me?
I mean, okay, like, I think in that scenario, you just have to be the bigger person and just like
leave them alone at least.
Yeah, at least like leave them alone at that point. Like, okay, what they don't understand is like, this straight up sounds like dating advice, but what a lot of people don't understand is like, when you get so caught up in your own emotions, you get tunnel vision.
Yeah.
And you don't have the foresight to see around you. And that's very important because you don't think about the long-term effects of some of your actions.
Yeah.
For example, you are so infatuated with this one person, but they clearly, or not clearly, doesn't matter, don't really show that kind of same appreciation back, or they don't show the same interest back. In those scenarios, like, the person who's infatuated might just be like, so quick to do certain things, like continuously messaging them, being very like active in their social medias, keeping up with like their daily activities. Those things, they don't realize it, and they might not intend to do it in such a way, or even in a creepy way, right? But they're just so fixated on this one goal that they can't see other places, right? And the other places that they need to be seeing is that, like, what you're doing is actually just pushing them back more and more further away from you. Like, imagine you're holding your phone and you want to message this girl so bad, but you're like, okay, I should stop. But like, an hour feels so painful. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta distract yourself during that hour. They don't care about you. They're not thinking that their day is just going on. They're doing their own thing, and you're probably thinking like, it's been an hour since I last texted. Like, I wonder what she's thinking. I wonder if she's thinking about me. I wonder if she's waiting for a text message from me. Like, none of those things are applicable. And you always have to take the benefit of it. You always have to, like, save your ego by thinking the worst. Like, you gotta tell yourself, oh, they don't care about me. I mean, okay, you don't have to be so drastic, but you gotta, like, pull back sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, you can't be expecting, like, oh yeah, they're gonna appreciate me.
But at the same time, these are very vague scenarios. Obviously. Every situation is different. Like, you gotta feel it out for yourself. So that's why send in your questions.
To conclude, what I was trying to say was, you get tunnel vision sometimes, and you can't think about, like, the things you're doing is actually more unattractive, and you might not intend to do that, but sometimes that's just the result. You actually push them away a bit more. Let's take a step back, let's breathe, and let's think, and let's think about what I'm doing. Let's think about, like, the things I'm thinking, and then write it in your diary. Facts. And then you gotta go back to your diary. Right. Your diary needs to become your best friend.
You know what? Yeah. We should get a sponsorship from a diary company, please.
Yeah, no feedback.
Anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for watching our no-name podcast. We're gonna think of a name for sure, and we'll let you know.
We'll definitely have, like,
a name
some
by
of our
now.
friends come on and talk with us as well.
We're gonna have guests. Comment some guests, like, Selena Gomez. We can hit her up. Like, that's my friend.
But yeah, we can hit up, like, we have contacts.
Yeah, we have contacts.
We own a business, so, like, we have contacts. Yeah.
So, negative contacts.
Can bring on my mom, my dad.
Anyways, thank you guys, and we will see you in our next podcast, hopefully. Yep. Anyways, bye. Say bye.
Bye, bitches. Oh, bye.